You guys know about decimals. So we are going to work on converting decimals to fractions and fractions to decimals. We're going to work them back and forth, and it's actually pretty easy. One way is a lot easier than the other way. I will show you. Going from a decimal to a fraction is like, it's crazy easy. We're going to talk today about mixed numbers, terminating decimals. What does terminating mean? What? Destroying. Terminate means to end. I will terminate you. Okay? It means to end. Okay? Repeating means, obviously, it repeats. It goes on and on. That's the one that's got the little line over the top of it. That's what that means. All right? So, a number that contains both a whole number greater than 0 and a fraction, such as 1 3/4, is called a mixed number. I asked you to put this away, right? So 1 3/4, so a whole number and a fraction is a mixed number. Where do you think on this little number line would 1 3/4 go? Brett, why don't you come up here and draw a little dot where it goes? Any color. Sure. It's a weak dot, but I think I can. Oh yeah, let's strengthen it a little bit. A little low, but we'll handle it. Okay. Okay, it's greater than 1 because here's 1, so it's more than 1, but it's not all the way to 2, so it's 1 3/4. Yes. No, it goes at 1 75. 3/4. And I will show you how to go from a fraction to a decimal. I'll help you out. Okay, that's what we're here for today. Okay, now this is the easiest thing to do. Write each decimal as a fraction or a mixed number. Okay? So we are going from decimals to fractions. Check this out. Can someone read this to me? What does this say, Hunter? How many? Say that again. 67 hundredths? You mean like this? Yep, it's that easy. Yep, I know, it was great. Yep, it's that easy. The one catch is, there's a catch here. Usually it says in simplest form, which means we're going to have to attempt to reduce it. This is where our greatest common factor, the things we've been working on for like the last week and a half, this is where greatest common factor comes in. In order to find the simplest form, we have to divide top and bottom by the greatest common factor of 67 and 100. What is the greatest common factor of 67 and 100? Xander. You don't know. Okay. This is going to help you on your quiz, Xander. Watch this. 67 is prime. So, can you divide 100 by 67? No, 100 isn't divisible by 67. So this is already in simplest form. A number is in simplest form if it can only be divided, if top and bottom can only be divided by 1. If their greatest common factors is 1, and it is. So this is simplest form. Okay. Could somebody read that to me? 5 9/10? You mean like this? Yep, it's that easy. Yep. Going from decimals to fraction is like the easiest. First of all, let me ask you this. What is the greatest common factor of 9 and 10? What's the greatest common factor for 9 and 10? 1. It's already in simplest form. It's already there. Wrong one. What's happening? Stop whatever's happening there. Weird. Uh-oh. Crashed. Awesome. All right, we're back. Okay, someone tell me what that says. Gavin. Oh, you mean like this? Oh, now we got to see. $73 prime. $73 is prime. 73 is prime, so that 1 is the greatest. 1 is the greatest common factor they have. All right. Uh-oh. Four and 8/10. All right, now, what's the greatest common factor for 8 and 10? Dos. So divide top and bottom by 2, and we end up with 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 10 divided by 2 is. So there's our answer. Okay? All right. Now we're going back the other way. Going from a decimal to a fraction is easy. Going from a fraction to a decimal is slightly harder. And I say slightly because there certainly is some operations that are involved. Now, listen, there are 2 ways to do it. There are 2 ways to go from a fraction to a decimal. 2. One way works some of the time, and it's easier. The other way works all the time, but it's harder. So, the way that works some of the time that is easier is to get the denominator or the bottom number of the fraction to end to either be a 10, 100, 1,000, or something like that. Okay? So can we get the 20 to be a 10, 100, 1,000? Can we? Well, can we? What do we multiply 20 by to get? Well, first of all, let's not get it to a 10 because that means we'd be dividing. Let's multiply. Can we multiply 20 by something to get it to be a 10 or to get it to be 100? Okay. So whatever we do to the top, we have to do the bottom. So we multiply this by 5 here. We multiply this by 5 here. We end up with 15 over 100. Someone read that to me. 15 hundredths, meaning 15 hundredths. Okay? Now that way only works. What if that way only works if we can get the bottom number to be a 10 or get the bottom number to be 100 or 1,000 or whatever. What if my fraction was something like this? What if it was well, I'm not going to go with 3/4. I'm going to go with 7/8. Can I easily get that 8 to become a 10 or 100? No. So we got to find another way to do it. And the other way to do it that works every time, Mason, the one that works every time, is actually treating this like the division problem that it is. Which means that this says 7 divided by 8. Can you do that? Yeah. Top to bottom. Please. I feel like I'm losing some of you right now. Okay? 7/8. This means 7 divided by 8. Okay? So you do this. 7 divided by 8. The top number goes in the house. Okay? Top number goes in the house. That's what this fraction means. Then we do our division. Now, we got to put a decimal here. We got to add a 0 because 8 doesn't go into 7. That's why it's a fraction. It's part of a whole. It's not even a whole number 1. Okay? So 8 goes into 70 how many times? 8 times. 8 times 8 is? Do my subtraction. I have a 6 here. Add a 0, bring it down. 8 goes into 60 how many times? 7 times. Do my multiplication. 8 times 7 is? 8 goes into 40 how many times? Put my decimal up there. Okay? It's 0.875. Like I said, it works every time, but it's more work because you actually have to do the division. Like this 3 divided by 20. 3 divided by 20. It works every time, but it's more work. Add a decimal, add a 0. 20 goes into 30 one time, minus 20 is 10. Add a 0, bring it down. 20 goes 5. It's the same as what we found before, isn't it? It's just, it's more work, but it works every time. I did that. It was rather frustrating today. Okay. So 6 1/3, we have to make that a decimal. Well, we know it's 6 because 6 point. So this is 6 point, meaning 6 and then we gotta go 1/3. Now, can we make that third into a 10 real easily or 100? No. So we actually have to treat it like a division problem. So 1 divided by 3. Top number goes in the house. Add a 0, add a decimal, and add a 0. 3 goes into 10. How many times? 3 times. Minus 1. Uh-oh. What's going to keep happening here? It's going to be repeating because it's going to be 0.3. So we go 6.3 repeating. In the 6th grade, here's what you guys are going to do. I would bet on it that you guys want to go so fast that you're going to have this problem and you're gonna look at it and you're gonna go, okay, I gotta figure out what 1/3 is, and you're gonna do the division. You're gonna go 1 divided by 3, and you're gonna add that, and you're gonna go, ooh, that's 3, and then there's 9. Ooh, look, it's gonna be 1. It's gonna be repeating, and you're gonna go like that, and you're gonna get the answer to this question is 0.3 repeating. But you forgot the 6. And then I marked it wrong. Okay? You need to slow down. Don't forget about that. Okay? Now the last one that I did, that 7 divided by 8, that was terminating. It ended. Right? This one is repeating. Ooh, yay, easier, right? Right? What do we do? Times 5, end up with 25 over 100, or 0.25. If we didn't see that, what could we have done, Anna? What's the other way to figure out how to go from a fraction to a decimal? What's the other way? Division. What do we divide? Nope. 5 by 20. Top number. 5 divided by 20. Okay? Add a decimal, add a 0, do the division. 20 goes into 5 4 times. Not 4 times. Whoops. 4. 2 times. Minus 20. 40, 100, 5, there's my decimal. It's the same. It's more work, but it works every time. Ugh. What do we do? What do I do, Dylan? Divide 2 by 3. 2 divided by 3. Add a decimal, add a 0. 3 goes into 20 how many times? 6 times, very good. Minus 18. Uh-oh. What's going to happen? The answer is 0.6. Oh, don't forget the 7. That's right. Remember? I just told you. This is what 6th graders are going to do. Hey, are you okay? Excellent. It's always an adventure. Okay. So, terminating decimals, such as 75, has a finite number. It ends. It's done. Other ones are repeating, like 0.6666, like we just did. Actually, what's the fraction that goes with 0.2? 2/10 or 1/5. Oh, it's gonna just fill them all in now. Okay. 0.25 is 1/4 or a quarter. 0.3 is repeating is 1/3. 2/5 is 0.4. 1/2 is 0.5. 0.6 is 3/5. 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. 3/4 is 0.75. 4/5 is 0.8. You are also in your homework you're going to be asked to put things in order. Order the fractions and decimals from least to greatest. Now I have fractions and I have decimals. What do I do? This is a problem because I can't just guess. I have to do what? I need to get them all in the same form. If I want to get them all into decimals, fine. If I want to get them all into fractions, fine. But I will warn you this. If you get them all into fractions, the denominator, meaning the bottom number, has to be the same, otherwise you can't compare them. So my suggestion is make them all decimals. Okay? Does that make sense to you? Because if you make them all fractions, you can't compare them unless you have the same denominator. So, what is 3/4 as a decimal? That last chart we just had, it's one that you probably should remember. 75 hundredths, or 0.75. And what is 7/10 as a decimal? 7/10, 0.7. So we got 0.7, 0.75, and 0.8. Least to greatest. Which one's the smallest? Based on last quarter or last unit. Yes. The 7/10 is first, is the smallest one. So we'll say that this one's number 1. What's number 2? 75 hundredths. This is 2, and then this is 3. Okay? You have to make sure you get them all as decimals. What's 1/2 as a decimal? Jack? 0.5. What's 1/4 as a decimal? 0.25. So which is my smallest? This is the first one. What's my second one? Lauren? Between 0.35 and 0.5. 0.35, so this is number 2, and this is number 3. Let's see if there's any other type of problems that you're going to have on your homework besides putting things in order. Nope, that's it. Okay, so for your homework, I want you to do page 183. Numbers 12 to 56 even.